Hello, Facebook land. I'm going to let people jump on and join me. It's always that moment where it's like, well, people will watch this later and people will watch this now. So, hey, peeps that are jumping on. I can't see who you are, but welcome. If you want to say hi, say hi. I'd love to. Namrata. Hey, Namrata. Facebook only tells me some of who's watching. I don't know what determines whether you get announced or not. I'm not sure how that works. Hi, Lucy. So if you want to put a little wave or, whatever, a like or a say hi. Sulin. Hey, Sulin. How are you? I'm going to be in Seattle next week. Helen. Hi, Helen. How's it going? Cool. Well, thanks everybody for jumping on. I'm like, I gotta be quick. Hey, Andy. My Facebook lives are usually kind of rambling, but I don't really have a whole lot of time today. So I'm facilitating a Access Consciousness Foundation class right now. And we had this conversation this morning about proving and being and doing and I was like, wow, this is like, I just had some awareness that I wanted to play with and talk about and share. And it really has to do with living, actually living. And, so many of us, like in this world, we're sort of taught to, like we're born and we learn after a certain point in childhood, like this is how you do life and this is what you need to do, and you do this and you do that and you do this and you work and you go to school and and that's really boring for a lot of people to have this sort of linear progression of what you're supposed to do as your life. And I remember like starting to tap into I love it, Namrata. That's very cool. Starting to tap into like this possibility beyond. I had been a psychotherapist. I was a body-centered psychotherapist for about 13 years. And I had an office and I had clients come to the office and I had a movement studio that time as well. And I would go there. So I had a physical business. Thank you, Daniel. I had a physical business and, two physical businesses basically. And I was in that kind of like go to work mode. And I started doing Access Consciousness and like so excited about the possibilities and, being online more and being on Facebook more and, meeting people internationally and all that. And it's been so cool meeting so many people on Facebook that I now just adore all over the world. And then a lot of them have been able to meet in person. But I remember when I read this book called The 4-Hour Work Week, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool to only work 4 hours a week. And it was so interesting because I read the book and it was like, okay, and it was all this stuff about automating online systems and, like building funnels and, like making the internet really just work for you. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. How cool would that be to work 4 hours a week and make lots of money and then have the rest of my time to do whatever. But the thing is like, I never created that because I actually didn't desire it. I did let go of my physical businesses. I did sell my studio at some point and I stopped doing therapy in person and I started doing Access Consciousness, facilitation. And I started doing a lot of stuff online. So I started creating my own online business in my own way. But the thing is that, I never created like working 4 hours a week because I actually wasn't really interested in that. I love what I do. And, I would be really bummed if I only got to do it for 4 hours a week. And I always say now, like, I both work all the time and never work because nothing feels like work to me. Nothing ever feels like work to me. I'm facilitating a foundation class right now, 5 hours starting in the morning. And then I've got time in the afternoon. And it's so much fun. Like what I do is so much fun. And so it's like, so for one, one of the things is like, we don't end up actualizing things that we don't actually desire like that. And I could have made myself wrong and gone, I never did that 4-hour work week thing, but, in a way I did the 0-hour work week where I don't feel like I ever work. And I'm engaged all the time with people in my business and creation, and I love it, But that's the difference between the busyness that business is in this reality and business as the adventure of living, as the adventure of creating your life, as an adventure of showing up every single morning and going, hey, what would I actually like to create today? What would I actually like to do today? What future would I like to create today? What would I like to contribute to the world today? And when that becomes your life and you're living and your reality, because living is really an action, it's this ongoing action of creation rather than the end point of your life that people have decided they need to get to. When business becomes an adventure of living, and you get to actually be, and you get to actually get paid for what you be, not necessarily for what you do. It's so amazing. And it's like, I do that all, like, that's how I spend most of my time, most of my days is engaged in those activities, because it's fun for me, because I love creating like this. I love playing with people and like contributing greater possibilities and, you're like your job, quote unquote, might be something different. But how you could create money in your life is actually about living, and you wake up in the morning and you're so excited to be alive and you're living, and then you're like, you ask questions and you play with like, what is the future that I like to create? And you're willing to have money and you're willing to have amazing things show up in your life. It just does. It's not about, I need to create a sales funnel. I need to automate my business. I need to fill in the blank, because that's where most people go with business. But it's actually, I get to do whatever it is that I get to do today. And I love it. And it's when we spend our time like working and believing the lies of this reality and proving and efforting and somehow believing that that's what we have to do to make money. That's what we have to do to contribute to the world. That's what we have to, do. It's when you function from the point of view of that and really the distraction of that business is busyness, and the way that you make money, whether you have a job or you have a quote unquote business, it's busyness. And you have to do in order to prove that you exist, in order to prove that you be, in order to prove that you're worthy of the money that comes into your world. What if there was a different possibility? And that could sound like a pipe dream. It could sound really like fluffy and flowy and, you could be like, great, that sounds wonderful. But the cool thing is that I have not only created that for myself, but I know a lot of people that have created that as well with the tools of Access Consciousness and the tools of Joy of Business, which is a specialty area in Access Consciousness, and lots of other tools, lots of tools from Access. But it's a completely different universe of creation. It's a completely different universe of creation and actualization, and how you spend your time and what you're willing to actually receive. And when you function from that, business is actually the adventure of living, and it is like a daily choice to receive, to be engaged in the world with the world, and to receive what it is that the universe has to offer us and what we can actually create and actualize as our lives simply because we can. You have to be willing to be different to have that as your reality. You cannot need to fit in and to prove that you exist or that you are worthy of, because you do. And is there action involved? Absolutely. But it's action that feels so fun and joyful that it doesn't, like, it's like, what else would you be doing? You know, I'm like, what else would I be doing? I am so happy to get to do this. And the more I relax and receive, the more my business grows and my money flows grow. And the less and less and less and less it feels like work. It really doesn't ever feel like work to me anymore. So 4-hour work week, 0-hour work week, you know, living. And everything is part of it. Everything is part of it. So I just wanted to share that with y'all today as a possibility. If you don't know the Joy of Business tools, check out the book Joy of Business by Simone Milasas. There's a Joy of Business website, accessjoyofbusiness.com. There's a 3-day class called Business Done Different that is a 3-day masterclass in this, basically. I'm doing one at the beginning of December. It's going to be in Colorado and also online, so you can join from anywhere in the world. And there are other facilitators that do it as well. But I always say that Business Done Different class is like a master class in this, what it is that I'm, being and sharing with you here. Really having a completely different reality with business that is actually about living, and the money and the joy and the play and the creation that can come when you choose that. It's a different reality, it's a different world, and it is available for the choosing. But you, like I said, you have to be willing to be different and actually use the tools that will allow you to create that, and step out of the linearity of business that this reality is and into what it is that you know, and what you know is possible and what's available from that and from there. So thanks so much, everybody, for coming and joining me. If you want to have more information about that class, hey, Randy, I'm just jumping off. You can go to my website, heathernichols.com. There's all kinds of amazing classes there as well. And get the Joy of Business book if you don't have it. It's such a breath of fresh air. And please know that if you know something is possible, go for it. And if you go for it and you show up every day and you just follow the energy and play and choose to be more all the time, you will be able to create it. It's a lot of times where we stop ourselves from actually going for what we know is possible, that's where we kill creation and we kill what is available to us. And now's the time like never before, I say. So cheers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for being you, and hope to see you somewhere soon. Bye.